Hello. Hey guys. I'm still setting up a little bit, but I'm almost ready. Yeah, I'm gonna do this little frog today. And I decided to do kind of pink and red. It's just like a monochromatic thing, since my base is already red here. And I thought it might be kind of interesting to try to do a green frog in in red. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll probably start as usual when I'm doing any kind of painting. I basically start with white over my red base. Kind of do a sketch of what I'm going to be working on. Found these little square board things on Amazon. I like to work on wood a lot. I've mentioned before. It's just I like the texture. I don't really like how much give canvas has usually. I'd rather have a more solid surface personally. It's getting hot out here in New York. I don't have air conditioning in my studio, so it's not very fun. So yeah, I pretty much start out all my paintings like this, kind of just blocking out shapes and a little bit of lighting. I'll use the base red as kind of where my shadows go. A very simple version of that this early on. Barely. Oh God, Texas! I can't imagine. It's been like raining like every single day in New York for weeks. It's getting pretty old at this point. My new job, I have to be outside a couple times a week. I work with kids, and I have to go to the park with them, which is nice. But when it's really hot out, it's not super fun. Alright, so this is kind of my base, kind of drawing, I would say, and then I'll start using a little bit of a bigger brush to fill in some of the highlight areas. Some more white. I definitely need to buy some new brushes for myself because these are really looking bad. If anybody has questions, let me know. Yeah, I'm going to be doing this monochromatic. I have alizarin crimson, and then I have these two shades of pink that were just like this meat and stuff that I got. Bubblegum pink, and I think the other one is like tulip pink. So I'm gonna try doing that. I may end up adding one more darker color just because I like to add darker shadows into my work. So maybe I'll use like a blue or something. Yeah, I pretty much usually do the white sketch on this red background. I just kind of, I don't know, it kind of builds like a skeleton for me a little bit, it feels like. I kind of like to layer in lighting almost. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need a little bit of a darker color. And then, so for now, I'm gonna try to get into some of like the mid-tones with these colors that I'm using. I definitely recommend trying to work in limited color palettes like this because tone and lights and shadows are more important than the actual colors that you're seeing. And once you learn how to like translate colors into values, you can do anything you want. I think I'm going to use some magenta. Some of these pigments actually aren't super pigmented because they're kind of a cheaper paint, but this stuff is a little bit nicer. Yeah, it's hard to figure out what subject matter to do. I try to not think about it so much anymore, and lately I just been picking animals because I kind of feel like it's an easy thing just to grab off the internet and that most people can like relate to and recognize on like certain portraits and stuff like that. And these are just like practice paintings, so I'm not putting too much. I don't want to put that much effort into it because it's not. These are only going to be like 45-minute painting. And sometimes I'll take these boards. If I really don't care about the art, I'll just paint over it again and reuse the canvas. Starting to look like a frog. I'm already avoiding this back leg area because it's like it's a hard part here, so I'll try to get myself to do it. think I'm gonna do a little bit of a ultramarine fluid blue just for like my dark shadows. I just feel like it needs a little bit more in there. What's this frog's name? I think this kind of stuff is good to work on when you don't have any ideas to do anything, because instead of me sitting here like trying to plan some complicated painting, I just like get myself to work on something, and it kind of distracts your mind a little bit. And it's just practice. Practice is always good. If you guys ever have specific topics that you want me to cover, let me know. I've said before, I'm working at this art studio where I teach art classes and stuff, so I want to take some of the things that I'm teaching there and kind of bring it over to YouTube as well. I do watercolor classes. I haven't done acrylic paint yet, but I will eventually be doing that. And if you live in Brooklyn or New York, you can take lessons with me in person if you want. You can find out that information on my website. There's just this crazy rainstorm outside. It lasted for like 15 minutes. And now it's sunny again. So now at this stage is when I basically continually reinforce my highlights and my shadows. And just keep layering, using my reference to see where the brightest whites are. Yeah, I totally get that. I've been an artist for a really long time, but I also have been through a lot of phases in my life where I wasn't making any art for years at a time. So sometimes you can't force creativity, but you can try other ways to get inspiration, I guess. It is very hard to get off scrolling on TikTok and YouTube, though, for sure. I've been working a lot outside lately at my new job, so it's kind of it's been nice to just get change of scenery a little bit is helpful and inspirational sometimes. Jesus, where? So not really monochromatic anymore, but we'll call it, what is it? I can't remember all the names of the things. Whatever, I just love to paint. I'm not a teacher, well, I was gonna say I'm not a teacher, but I actually technically am a teacher now. But it's fine that I don't know all of the terminology. Oop. Frog. It's really hot in here, so I'm trying to distract myself. What else should I paint, guys? I'm trying to do weekly live videos. I was a bit busy the last couple weeks, so kind of missed the last 2 weeks, so that's why I'm doing this now. But I do want to be a little more consistent. It's just I've had to pick up some extra work shifts and stuff, so my schedule is a little busier than usual. But going forward, I would like to do this at least once a week. And I want to know what you guys want to see. I'm also going to be offering memberships at some point for my channel. I think I'm going to be doing just some probably tutorial videos behind the membership wall, and maybe special live videos where I'll possibly do longer paintings, or just maybe more in-depth stuff, or like more one-on-one kind of teaching, if that's more your thing. Platypus I can do. Might be fun to try. Okay, so you can kind of see how I'm still using the red of my base as a color essentially within here. I love frogs too, they're so cute. I was almost going to do a sea turtle, but I changed my mind last minute. don't know. I like to do animals. I feel like they're just, you know, everybody can recognize them and they're just cute. I do like to do portraits, but when I do portraits, they don't always tend to look exactly like picture, but they're not supposed to. It's just some people think I'm trying to do photorealism, but I'm not. So my basic thing really, how I work is kind of just going over the whole thing many times, but just kind of going across the whole thing and checking the highlights and the lowlights and shadows and making them darker and lighter and just building and building. Including negative space, which is super important as well. Yeah, I make a lot of weird art. I don't know who Yume Nikki is though. I'm old and I don't know. I don't always pay attention to the world sometimes. Hey there. It's kind of taking shape now. Even in the back, like I even still make say these background. This is going to be a lot darker than I'm making it right now, but I want these highlights to kind of pop underneath what I eventually layer over it, so it gives it a lot more depth to it. And that's also sort of why I move around a lot as I paint, because this area I'm going to let dry for a couple minutes, so I'll come work down here, and then when that's dry, I'll layer over it again. I have to say, doing these limited colors though, kind of starts to mess with your eyes after a while because you're staring at these bright colors. I look away and I can see it in my vision. Bring some more highlights. Something that helps with highlights too is squinting at your reference from a little bit of a distance. It kind of helps. The highlights will jump out at you a little bit more if you can't quite figure it out. Yeah, I love weird art. It's always just been my art has always been my outlet for everything. So it's just it's interesting to see how other people's art comes out of them. actually something I love working with kids now. I work at an art studio with a lot of kids, and just seeing how they are creative, like each individual kid having their own style of art, and like it just comes from within, like they don't have any other previous knowledge or anything. It's just really kind of cool to see. Alright, I think I can go back up to this area now. I'm not gonna glaze over that a bit. Pink frog. It's kind of cute looking so far. Now I'm going to go over a lot of this top area with some of the shadows or just darker tones, values. It's getting there. I'm hoping to get back into some oil painting at some point soon. It's been probably several years since I've done an oil painting, but I work at an art studio now, and I kind of have more access to other supplies and stuff that I don't have currently at home. So I may have a chance to kind of mess around with some oils again soon. I used to love oil painting. It was my favorite. It was like my go-to paint. But then just kind of over time, it's just a difficult medium to work with when you don't have a lot of space, and it's kind of smelly and just messy, and it gets all over everything. And I don't really have a great home space to do that kind of stuff and to let things dry for very long. So I just kind of switched over to acrylics at some point, just for easiness, really. But one day, if I ever have an actual studio to myself, I would love to do oil paintings. anyone have any fun weekend plans? I'm supposed to be teaching an outdoor watercolors class on Saturday, but as of right now, I don't have any sign-ups because it's been raining every weekend, so nobody wants to come. So let's keep on. But maybe suddenly I'll get one for this weekend. I always see lately, or I just see artists always say like, "Oh, I'm using straight white. You're not supposed to do that." I'm like, that's not a rule. I'm sorry, but it's never been a rule in art to not use straight white. Like, they say that it's like looks unnatural, but there's literally white in nature. There's no black in nature for sure, but there is white because. Have you ever seen a bald man's head in the sun? It's straight up a white highlight on that dude's head. Like, it's in nature. Black, on the other hand, is not the real color, so. Thank you. Just a little frog. Feels like tropical in New York City, so it kind of fits, I guess, right now. Give him some textures by dabbing like this a little bit. This is a good way to add highlights as well, kind of layered highlight. Doing a variety of textures, layering textures. Yes, a bald man is in nature. I say that because I'm very close to being one. I wear hats though. Hey, how's it going? What do you think of my frog so far? Oh, awesome. That's cool. Where'd you go? Did you tell? You might have told me actually. I remember now. Oh, nice. Kentucky. That's cool. I would love to get out of the city, to be honest. Just for a little bit, at least. Yeah, my summer is going to be a little bit busy. I work at this kids' art camp thing, and the camp only happens during the summer, so it's kind of it's just a busy time of year. So I have extra work that I wouldn't normally have. So some of this stuff, I want to keep doing more lives, but I just have to kind of pace myself a little bit so I don't burn out. But I would love to do lives every week. I may end up doing every other week. It depends on the week, but trying to be consistent, but right now it's a little bit hard for me to do that. Fortunately, got to work to pay the bills. So. I love this job though, so I'm not going to complain about it really. I feel like I'm pretty lucky right now with where I am. Um, and it doesn't drain me creatively like other creative jobs that I've had. It feels more freeing versus like I used to work for like licensed apparel and toys and stuff, and that stuff is all like you have to do what they want you to do, and it's just like you just feel like a cog in the wheel of capitalism. It just gets really depressing, and it makes you not want to work on anything of your own. But working with kids, they're all very creative. It's like a nice energy to be around. Plus, being around other artists as well. I definitely don't want to be a teacher forever, that's for sure. But it's good for the time being. Oh damn. No. Camp is fun. The camp where I am, it's mostly for like pretty young kids. There is like a teen class, but sometimes there's not as many kids that go to that, I guess. I think the teens kind of are a little bit more difficult. They get bored a lot more fast. So as a new teacher, I'm still learning how to deal with that kind of stuff with kids who are bored and expect me to entertain them. Bro, actually, I don't know if we should say their name because I don't want to like dox anyone, but I had a celebrity come in the other day. Two of them actually, a married couple, brought their kid to my camp. We were all starstruck, but I don't want to say who they are just because you feel weird, like blowing up their spot and like telling you where they live and stuff. So I'm not going to. But yeah. Basically, where I work is a lot of rich people, so it's just kind of inevitable. Actually, getting close to being done with this thing. Just I kind of like to keep these lives to around 45 minutes or so. Expensive. Oh, I don't even know actually. I've been talking to my coworkers about it, and they were like, because we also have birthday parties that we do, and she was like, yeah, those parties are like in the thousands of dollars. So like, it's not cheap. But there are things like there's like individual classes and stuff. Like individual classes are doable for like an average person. They're not like hundreds of dollars or like I don't actually know, but I think they're like reasonable for like adults to take classes or whatever here and there. The camp though, I mean, it's probably expensive because we have the kids all day. We have them from like 8 in the morning till 4, 5 p.m. It's really just babysitting for rich people. Like, I mean, it's fine. The kids are great though. I never had any issues with them yet. I do like to teach adults more though. It's kind of like just because they're a little more on my level. Even if they're beginners, like it's kind of easier to talk to an adult in a way and like give advice, sort of. But again, I'm still sort of still learning how to be a teacher, so I guess I'll get better with time. Every kid is totally different too. It's like you never know. Their personalities are like so wildly different. This kid the other day, he's like 4, and that class is definitely like just babysitting for me. It's supposed to be like watercolors, but this kid, he doesn't want to do it, so he just kind of draws with crayons and stuff. But sometimes he wanders around, and he walked into the back office and grabbed a Twix off my boss's desk. He started running away with it, but and then he like stopped him, and he started crying for like 10 minutes because he couldn't have the Twix. So stuff like that happens. Yeah, the Twix. I felt bad. I was like, oh no. It was like a king size Twix too. I'm like, kid. Yeah. Yeah, I don't love the babysitting classes. It's not really what I signed up for, but I kind of see it as a almost like a rite of passage working there. It's like you kind of get the crappier classes when you first start working there, and then you build your way up and get like better class. Like you can make your own syllabus and stuff. Right now, I'm kind of filling in for some classes that don't have teachers, so it's kind of like the bottom of the barrel, but it's okay. I have other people to help me if anything ever really crazy happens. Like I'm not worried about stuff like that. Luckily, I'm never alone there with like kids, so I'm not scared of some like emergency or something. Because that's mostly what I'm scared of, like being in charge of a kid who like I don't know gets hurt or something. Like you have to watch them. It's just scary. Children are so delicate. Yeah, exactly. Like, we have these like they're like what is it, helium tanks, and he's like trying to climb up the helium tanks, and like I'm like kid, he's trying to climb in the most unclimbable things possible. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I have to follow him around the studio. He's okay. I think it depends on his mood too, because like I had him another day and he was totally fine. He wasn't doing that, so I think it just depends on his energy level that day. Yeah, I think he's a little small to break my heart. Let's see, what are we thinking of this frog so far? I think he's almost done. I really do like the kids. I was a little worried I was going to be like really annoyed by them, and there are for sure some kids who you just want to like, you're like, oh my god, can you please stop? But they all are very sweet kids. All right, so I'm gonna try to plan my next live. I think next week I kind of have a similar schedule. And again, I don't know. It's kind of hard because my schedule does change. Like we basically only block out like 2 weeks at a time, so I'm kind of a little bit unsure of future, like on a weekly basis exactly. But right now, I have Wednesdays and Thursdays off, and it may end up doing lives on one of those days. As of right now, I'll try to plan them in advance and at least like give a day's notice. Like I'll set up the live for that, but yeah. If there's anything specific you want to see next time, other colors or themes, or I don't know, you want to see a certain technique or something that I've done that you have a specific question about, just anything really. I would like to do what you guys want. Thank you, Moose. Hope you have a good day. And yeah, I'm gonna end here for today. But thanks for stopping by. And I'll probably put a time lapse of this up later. And yeah, we'll talk about that. Just leave comment or whatever. Like, let me know. I can try to plan something for next time. Anything specific. But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.